data types. This is the page where we can define our own data types. I understand we have dozens and dozens of predefined data types, and actually you can see all that from the type. But in a system, in a no-name platform, a sign of maturity is that you have defined the data types that apply to your domain, to your organization. Okay. There is a set of attributes associated to the data type. Of course, the name, whether it's predefined or whether it's custom. You have tags, and again, tags are families of related data types. That's what they're there to organize and identify. In all of these data types, bar none, their purpose is to organize data types. Okay, that's their main purpose. But there is two data type tags that have additional functionality. Okay, the first one is sensitive. Okay, sensitive data types control or can control the severity of individual incidents or findings. Okay, if we're communicating sensitive data types, chances are that the severity is going to be bumped up, provided we have maintained the auto severity in the policy, in the finding or the incident policy. Okay, so that's number one. The second one is forbidden. Okay, let me locate one of these. Sensitive, sensitive, sensitive. No forbidden yet. Here it is. Forbidden. CVV. See that CVV? That's the card verification value or number or whatever, right? So forbidden values can cause the triggering of additional uh, findings, right? Of additional findings. What does that mean? Let me give you an example when this will happen. Imagine you return an API call is made, the request, the response is in error, either 400 or 500. And in addition to returning the request in the response in error, you also return a forbidden data type. I don't know, CVV, SSN, all of those different forbidden data types, right? A decryption key and so on. Why on earth would an API request return in error along with forbidden data? It's beyond me, but it does happen. It does happen. Okay, and you would like to capture all that and raise a finding of some sort. Okay, a finding of some sort. If I take you under inventory, take you under, not inventory, security, under findings, API returns sensitive data in the error message. There you go. Okay. And if I look at the details, I will be told that we are returning an SSN. See that? SSN is tagged as forbidden, right? It's tagged as forbidden. Please do not pay attention to the nomenclature used here. Return sensitive. Yes, forbidden data are sensitive data. Okay, and this has literally relationship to the actual tag, data type tag called sensitive. Right? Just to be for the sake of completion, of being complete, right? So here's an error that gets triggered if you return an error and you include forbidden data. Back to the data types. Good. The other thing you have is obfuscation. Would you like values of this specific data type to always be obfuscated? This is how you surgically obfuscate values. You do not want to go ahead and do it globally for all the request or the response body. You want to do it surgically, so you don't limit yourself. You don't limit your ability to debug. Okay. Do you want to ignore headers so that data type doesn't apply to the headers when it was created? What are the different actions I can have, right? So we're not going to click the actions because we're going to be creating a brand new data type, right? And I want to point out that I would like to create a data type that captures the frequent flyer member ID. You see that member string? That's my frequent flyer member ID. I like to create a new data type that captures those values, okay? All right, settings, data types. Let's create a brand new data type right here. We're going to give it a name. We're going to call it member ID. We can select an icon. I'm going to select account. After all, it is an account. And I'm going to select tags. Is this sensitive? Is this PII? Probably. Is it sensitive? Sure. And I like to create a new family of data types that it relates to frequent flyer, to our frequent flyer program, or to Acme's frequent flyer program. Okay. So how can I do all that? I can go ahead and just type a new tag, FFP, frequent flyer program, and I can press enter, or I can click this button at the bottom. Press enter is what I will do. And now we have a brand new tag. So that's how you go about to create tags. Now, we need to provide the conditions that will help us identify these new data types. And of course, you're going to be using regular expressions, right? And the regular expressions we will be using for this is for the field name. As you can see, you can apply regular expression for the field name and or the field value. We're going to do both. We start with the field name. And we're going to type member underscore ID or FFP ID. Okay, very simple regular expression. So if we see anything like this inside our field names, then we're going to tag this specific, we're going to tag that specific field as being a member ID. Now, because I would like to be a little more accurate in my detection, I'm going to add the parent object. Okay, parent object, child objects, this should remind you of object-oriented programming or the dot notation, right? So if I would like to specify an additional regular expression for parent fields of the member ID or the FFP ID, I can come in here and I can say member like this, right? So this type of condition, this type of regular expression is going to capture scenarios, and I'm going to use this as an example. Scenarios as member dot, my apologies, member dot member ID, right? So it's going to capture this type of scenarios, or member dot FFP ID. So by doing something like this, you can also provide the lineage of your data types, parent-child type of relationship. Okay, and you can keep going. You can keep adding additional parents and so on. So you can be very accurate and very targeted on how you identify your data types. Okay, you can add OR conditions as well, so you can add additional conditions for the field name. In our case, we're going to switch now to the field value. This could also be an AND or an OR condition. We're going to select OR, and I'm going to use a regular expression for the value, right? So anything that begins with 4 capital letters, the caret symbol or the arrow up indicates beginning of the string, followed by the character class of capital letters, and I need 4 of those. That's sequence, followed by now the character class of digits, and I need 4 of those. End of the string. So regular expressions are very powerful, very complex. They have a very steep learning curve, but they're used throughout. Okay, I remember using it for the very first time back in, I don't know, 98, 97, once I started learning Perl. Right? So anyhow, now you can come and select, would you like to obfuscate the data type? If you so choose, then you will never be able to see the actual value in incidence or in sample data. Okay, sample request. If you select ignore headers, that means that data types, the headers of requests and responses will never be tagged as containing this type of data, right? We're going to keep them unchecked because we can, and we're going to click save. And we have a data type. Now your data type is further down. You should have the tag custom. But what you can do, and here's another functionality of these tables, is you can hover over a header and you can group by type. And now you have 88 out of the box types, and you have one custom, the one we just created. And this is a pretty quick way, nice way of identifying your custom data types. Okay, good stuff, guys. Settings done, right? Monumental achievement, right? Monumental achievement. We're done.